Hello, happy travelers! Welcome back to our cross-country road trip.
We have just left the Black Hills of South Dakota and have crossed over into Wyoming, and we had to come to
A Devil's Tower.
It was really close to our route, and we've always wanted to come here. This is a national monument, so it is included on the America the Beautiful Pass.
And also, fun fact, this was America's first national monument, established in 1906 by one Teddy Roosevelt, whose face we just saw today.
We just stopped by the visitor center and learned a little bit about the history of Devil's Monument.
There are several different Native American stories. There were children and bears started chasing them. The gods lifted up the land so that the bears couldn't get to them, and the bears tried and scratched up the side of the land, and that's what caused the lines on Devil's Tower.
Or it was liquid hot magma.
Liquid hot magma.
That's another story. A minute drive away from the visitor center, there's a little dirt road you can come up that gives you this view, so you're a little bit further back so you can see the whole thing a little bit better. Come in the late afternoon, that's when the light is the best, I think. We really needed to get some miles under our belt, so we drove a lot across the state of Montana, saw some friends on the way, and now we are in the western part of the state just outside of the town of Dillon.
On this road trip, we've been trying to hit as many national parks as possible. We did skip Yellowstone. We've already been there a couple of times. We've already made videos of those, so we'll link those if you want to go check those out. But today we are checking out a really cool Montana ghost town.
This is Bannack State Park. We're pretty close to the border with Idaho.
From what I understand, this was actually the capital of Montana when Montana was still a territory.
So you park and then you go inside the little visitor center and you pay $8 per car, and they do take cards. And you can also get a little guidebook, which is $2 to purchase, or you can just take a loaner one like we did, and then we'll give it back when we're done.
So something that's really awesome about this ghost town, you can go inside any of the buildings that are open, so you're free to kind of go in and check them out.
Lots of different types of wallpaper in here.
We just came into the gambling hall, which has this really cool bar behind me here. An old piano, barber's chair.
You can get a shave and a shot in the same building. This is quite the popular outing for Montanans on a very nice Saturday in September. We've got a troop of Girl Scouts here who are looking around, and also there is an old Masonic building which apparently is still in use because it looks like they're having a meeting of the Masons out in front of it, and everyone's all dressed up and everything. Kind of interesting.
So this part of town behind me is called Bachelor Row, which is just where all of the miners that didn't have family built little bachelor pads for themselves, little tiny homes.
Tiny homes.
Is it a tiny home if it's 1862?
Well, it's a home and it's tiny. They're keeping the Girl Scouts busy by having them pan for gold over there. If one of them strikes it rich, I'm going to be really upset.
The town really started in 1862 when gold was found in the nearby hills. The town rose in population like crazy, so they ended up having a county courthouse. That courthouse was then turned into a hotel.
Any ghosts?
If there's any, they're probably in there. I was walking upstairs by myself and it was definitely pretty creepy, I'm not gonna lie. So we ended up walking around the town of Bannack for probably about an hour, but you could easily spend like a full day exploring all these spots. Hello, happy travelers.
Welcome to Idaho, which is our 11th state on this road trip.
Today we are going to be driving down Route 93. We haven't really explored Idaho at all before, and it looks like there's some really scenic mountains to check out, a few beautiful alpine lakes. Can't wait to get on the road. Well, in true Kevin and Kelly fashion, we saw a sign for a ghost town, and now we're driving 4 miles down a dirt road. This was not planned at all, but hey, that's the best part about road trips, right? To take those crazy roads when you see them.
We found the ghost town. It is called Bay Horse. Ore was discovered in the late 1800s. Lead, copper, and silver.
You know me, I love a good ghost town.
Yes, you do. Especially one that you have to drive on a dirt road to get to.
Yeah.
How do these people find these places? It was the middle of nowhere in a tiny little canyon in Idaho.
Well, I think the most impressive building in town has got to be this big mill building over here. This thing is crazy looking.
Made it to the town of Stanley, Idaho. We stopped here for lunch. It's just on the edge of the Sawtooth National Recreation Area, and it's surrounded by beautiful mountains. The weather's gorgeous, so I'm loving today so far. This town is super tiny, very cute, and it's all about adventure sports like rafting and just outdoor stuff. It's a couple hours north of Sun Valley, which does have ski areas, so definitely worth a look if you're in the area.
We stopped at a restaurant called Sawtooth Lucy's, and they have an awesome outdoor patio out back. We're gonna get a late lunch.
What? What do you want? Sawtooth Mountains are really gorgeous, so they have a visitor center, and of course we had to stop. This is Galena Overlook, and it's got a pretty nice view of the Sawtooths.
The whole Sawtooth area is a national recreation area. This outlook is just on the southern side of it. When we continue the drive out of here, we're going to be leaving the Sawtooth area and heading down towards Sun Valley. Made our way south past Sun Valley Ski Resort and into the town of Ketchum. Kelly and I have never been to this part of Idaho before. It's really cool. I would definitely like to come back in the winter and do some skiing here.
So we decided to skip Craters of the Moon National Monument. Unfortunately, we just don't have time to do it on this trip. We're pretty close to that area, and we just hit a big field of lava rock, which is crazy after just coming out of such alpine mountains in Idaho. Idaho is only the second state on this road trip where we've spent more than one night. Last night we spent the night in Twin Falls. Today we're going to cross into Nevada, but not before checking out the Snake River Canyon and the Shoshone Falls, which is where Twin Falls gets its name. This area is famous because Evel Knievel tried to jump across it.
We've come to the jump site where there is still the ramp that he used to launch across the river.
He did not make it because his parachute went off prematurely. He didn't die though, so that's good.
So this looks a lot further than what Google says it is. It says it's only a quarter mile to the other side. From this perspective, it looks like it's over a mile over there. Yeah, this canyon is also 500 feet deep, so he probably had a long parachute ride. I don't see how he could have ever thought that he would make it. What a crazy dude.
To the falls?
Let's go.
So we're at Shoshone Falls now. It costs $5 per vehicle to get in, and they do take cards, just so you know. So we're here in September, which isn't a great time for waterfalls in the West just because it tends to be a drier time. But they also told us they're doing some maintenance on the dam that's right here. So Shoshone Falls, not so fallen today. We may have just paid $5 to use the bathroom over here.
I can imagine it's very impressive. We'll put a photo of what it looks like when there is water going off.
Probably in the spring would be the best to come, and when they're not doing maintenance on the dam.
Yeah, I don't even think it's a springtime thing. I think it's because they're doing maintenance on the dam. They kind of stop the water from coming over. Well, that was still a really nice viewpoint.
I guess we'll just have to come back to Idaho because 2 days is not enough time. This is a very beautiful state. Underrated, I think.
Absolutely. We'll definitely be back here again. But that's going to be it for this video as we're about to head south into Nevada. So be sure to hit that subscribe button to follow along with the rest of our road trip. And if you haven't seen the first videos from our road trip, make sure you go back and check all those out. We'll link them all in the description.
Until next time, this is Kelly and Kevin from the Awkward Tourists. Peace out. Welcome to our 12th state, Nevada.
So worth it.
Bees, sorry.
Inside the hotel as well. Afternoon tea. It smelled really good. Yeah.
I didn't have some?
I don't think we're invited.
I wasn't invited to
tea. I feel like you need to be dressed in traditional garb to be invited to tea. I forgot my cowboy hat and suspenders.
What'd you just do, babe?
I just drove about 15 minutes with the coffee cups on the roof, and they were still there. That's a good driver right there.
With the coffee in them.
Yeah, with the coffee in them, yeah, they didn't even tip over.
His parachute went off prematurely. I've heard that happen sometimes.
I think there's a pill for that.
Oh boy.